All right, welcome back to season 3 of Driving Performance. My name's Tom Shea, your host, the co-founder and CEO of Agile Media Group. I'm really excited to introduce Jeff Lee. Jeff Lee, by way of introduction, the CEO and co-founder of DIBS Beauty, one of the hottest makeup brands in America right now, celebrated hot for its inclusive approach and multi-use products, which we'll dive deep on. Launched in 2021 with influencer Courtney Shields, quickly gained 20,000 person wait lists and became one of the fastest growing beauty brands in 2022. Under Jeff's leadership, DIBS secured backing from L Carrington, Tula Skincare's co-founders, achieved an astonishing 700% year-over-year sales growth by early 2023. Jeff has a really interesting story. His career path's remarkable. He's a Yale-trained lawyer who left a high-powered M&A law firm to pursue his passion in beauty and media. He coached Miss Universe pageant contestants around the world, served as president and COO for A-Rod's Corporation, where he co-created the #1 business podcast and orchestrated major media deals. Holds an MBA from Stanford. Jeff, I mean, this is great. This is a long list.
My mother's still disappointed. Classic tiger.
Jeff now channels his diverse expertise into building DIBS into a lasting brand that takes the intimidation out of makeup with fun, uncomplicated products. Jeff, welcome to Driving Performance.
I'm excited to be here inside this glass cage. I love it.
That's right.
I love attention.
So for the audio-only listeners, how would you describe what is happening?
I mean, it's okay. So it's totally surreal. We are literally in front of the flagship PF Chang's in Union Square.
Shout out. They better shout out. They better sponsor.
A classic. PF Chang's. Actually, I do know some folks there, and that's not just running in the family. Maybe we'll get you a hug up. But here it is. This is really one of those things that screams attention in a city that has no lack of interesting things. We're in a glass box. People around the village are just walking around. Please, no photos, sir. No photos.
Yeah. So, Jeff, I'm excited to chat. I want to quickly go over the structure of the podcast in our Pope Mobile. So as we are in a truck, the theme is there's a few different stops along our route today. Stop 1 is the personal story. So all things Jeff pre-DIBS Beauty. Then stop 2 is the professional story. We're going to dive deep on DIBS Beauty, share some things that are coming or probably going to be launched by the time this airs. Then stop 3 is a tongue-in-cheek game that we call the Hot Box, a fun this or that style question game. And then stop 4 is the outro. You ready to rock?
Let's do it.
All right, Jeff. Well, excited to dive in. So you have probably one of the most interesting rises to where you are today. I would love to start with early days, Jeff, all of the moments that led you to where you are today pre-DIBS Beauty, and it's probably gonna take a while to get through. So why don't we start there?
All right, a massively overweight kid, went to Stanford, lost all the weight. Along the way, found a fascination for fitness and for beauty. Okay. Went to law school because that was what you did as an Asian child with a very strict upbringing. If you couldn't really do math, and also my sister went the banking route, so we split it between the two of us. Became a corporate lawyer, clawed my way through the top 3 law firms. I kept trading up, became, for the first time in, I think, 13 years, Wachtell Lipton, which is the best M&A firm in the world, was accepting what are called laterals, more experienced attorneys to cross over into corporate.
Right.
I managed to make that jump. And then, I hit the place where I said, I want to reboot everything, went back to school, got my MBA, and then ended up going into the world of baseball and beauty with Alex Rodriguez. From there, went straight to founding DIBS. Along the way, I've also become one of the world's top Miss Universe coaches. Always chew your horn if you're the best at something, like full force, right? Do not ever be falsely humble. I am one of the best in the world. If you want to win Miss Universe, you call me, and each of many countries do.
Is that still to this day?
To this day. In fact, I'm currently the national coach for Peru. I'm on my 4th candidate. All 3 of my previous candidates have placed in the competition.
Wow.
They have not won in 70 years. And last year we got the first Miss Universe Americas. So, I'm working hard for the country of Peru right now.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so let's talk a little bit more like early family life, the influences. It sounds like you had some external pressure. So tell us about the family. Tell us about like the influences along the way.
I like to say, I think in Chinese, I speak in English, and I pray in Hebrew.
为什中文
Yeah, 我说
帅哥
说哎呀太
我在上海流水
你也是很帅啊 But he's a Shanghainese accent. I've got the Taiwan. So
wow, like,
yeah,
you got
yeah, sound. So I was born in California, but my parents are Taiwanese immigrants, right? Okay. So I spoke English as a second language, and then it took over. I converted to Judaism in law school, and in fact, I only pray in Hebrew. Wow. So I like to joke that I have like these 3 things going on, but I actually am terrible in Spanish. Can't roll my R's, which is kind of a sad thing for the side hobby of Miss Universe. Like, I do believe in nurture and versus nature in the sense of, yes, I had incredible immigrant parents who came to this country and believed, and I believe as a proud American, and they made me a proud American, that this is a country that still has that American dream. You work hard, you won't always be guaranteed to get to an equal outcome, but if you play smarter and harder than the rest, you'll go further. Yeah. But at the same time, a lot of it comes from having a chip on your shoulder.
Totally.
You know, growing up, I was bullied heavily. I'm deaf in one ear. I can't hear most of the time. And, you know, having those things contributes to having something to prove. And we still have something to prove in our day, whether or not it's, you know, creating incredible products, my co-founder and I, or going out there and building an amazing business. And that's the kind of fuel that drives great businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, okay, talking about the parents, what do your parents do? Are there any obvious skews into the beauty space, or what's the upbringing?
Well, you know, they were engineers by trade and then ended up becoming entrepreneurs themselves. And so that was one of the things. It's totally different spaces, though, in terms of they're in manufacturing. And, you know, one of the things I learned from my parents was to always be independent in all of your decision making. And I always say to folks, too, I'm able to do what I do, which involves an insane amount of work and travel, because I have a family that supports that. All they need from me is a text once a month to know that I'm alive.
You're alive. Yeah. A notification. Okay, so talking about the ascent, what came first? Was it the beauty pageants? Was it A-Rod?
Yeah. Well, the beauty pageants are always a fascination.
And how did you even get into that?
Well, I always make that joke, right? You go to beauty pageant school and you get licensed after you pass the beauty pageant trainer exam. And then you go, no, there's no such thing. I wrote a blog. There was no way of getting into this incredibly insular world. I wrote a blog. The father of a contestant wrote to me and said, my daughter's moving to Venezuela to compete. She ended up winning. Miss Venezuela, just for people to reference, is basically Brazil in the World Cup. Venezuela has won 8 times. They are the historical world power in this. Coming out from that equips you to do anything. And so that, I really had to elbow my way into that.
Was there a passion there? So you obviously wrote the blog post, so you were baseline interested in that, like, as a category or as like an industry. What drove you towards that direction? Of all the directions, I mean, you're well educated, you could have gone probably anywhere.
Well, you know, beauty is fascinating to me fundamentally, because beauty is something that taps to your inner insecurities. We have such a hard time talking about it, even in the beauty space. As the head of a makeup company, right? Like, I should know. And, you know, the fact is, people get insecure about the idea of, oh, someone else or something else is beautiful and it makes me feel bad about myself. And yet it's fascinating. It attracts you. And so the question is, how do you take something that is so polarizing and make it into a positive for everyone? Right? And that's an essential challenge, whether or not it's Miss Universe or DIBS. I believe in the Miss Universe because I will always say it's important to grow the category from within. We have been obsessed with beauty as a species since pre-dynastic Egypt. We will never stop being obsessed with it. But with Miss Universe, you are talking about a pageant that crowned its first Black winner in 1977. The last 10 winners have been from every continent, that sends these women around the world and says, look at what they represent. They have a beautiful natural advantage and they're using it for good. Similarly with DIBS, what we're saying is, this is an easy way to feel better about yourself, to give yourself confidence. And if you choose to use it, acknowledge it and celebrate it. And if it's not for you, it's not for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, so how, you know, the traverse from beauty pageantry to A-Rod's media company, I mean, really impressive stuff here. #1 business podcast, major media deals. And so tell me about that transition and, like, how did that all come together?
Well, I'm pretty sure the Agile podcast will soon surpass it, but I gotta give you guys a plug.
Well, that's why we have you on. I mean, we need that clout, Jeff. We need you.
You will literally gain dozens of listeners from this. I think one of the things look, I met A-Rod having very little consumption of baseball. I was 80% sure that they went counterclockwise on a field. But I always...
Those are the best people, though, the outsiders. You need the outsiders.
Right? But at the same time, right, I'll never waste your time. So obviously, like, before I get in any space, whether it's with Alex Rodriguez or a bunch of dudes in a glass encased cage, I would do my homework on people. And so before I met him, I spent 2 weeks surveying, like, actually, I ran a survey through Mock Morning Consult. I did my homework. And I proved to him that I could add value to his life. And I wasn't even trying to. It was just a social call. We hit it off immediately, no pun intended. And
how'd you even meet?
It was through a mutual friend, Allison Kluger from Stanford GSV.
Shout out
to Allison. She teaches reputation management, one of the best classes at the business school.
Take her class.
Or if you can, like, just find one of her many speaking engagements. Allison connected us, and it's one of those great things I think in life, because here's a Dominican guy from the Bronx, like, you know, legendary athlete, and, you know, a chubby kid from, you know, Southern California who knows nothing about baseball, just converging.
Yeah, awesome.
And I want to say, I do think I learned a lot about becoming a CEO from Alex Fergus.
Yeah. And so dive a little bit deeper on that experience. So you guys meet, he realizes that your gem could add value to the organization. What did he enlist you to do? Like, why did he bring you on?
Well, one of the things that, you know, is that on that team, right, you play every role, which is something I've also learned to translate over to the startup world. And so I like to say, I might have been the COO title, but I was also a lawyer. I was the personal, like, you know, kind of handler, right, wrangler, right, you know, prepared him for every speech.
Right.
And also even produced him on Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. And one of the funny things that happened was around the third game, he was asked by the producers, you know, you could have any number of baseball experts in the box with you. Why this one? Right? Yeah. And he goes, I don't need anyone else to tell me about baseball. I need someone to help me communicate to people like him, to grow your entire audience. And that's one of the things I thought was so impressive about him. You know, we would be in the bathroom before the games, and I would have the list of players, and people don't realize how hard it is. You don't even know who's playing on the team until right before the game.
Totally.
And, you know, it's my job to figure out how you pronounce all these exotic names, and make sure he gets it right. And he's that kind of perfectionist. And we apply that also to what we do here at DIBS.
Yeah.
So I really learned that from being on the go with him. And I think the last thing I'd say is, you know, when you work in that kind of multifaceted way, you learn to humble yourself really quickly, right? Like, that's one of the great things I love about Alex, is that he's someone who has obviously reached the very pinnacle of a generation, and yet is never afraid to get back up. We saw just now, he just closed on a historic sale, a protracted sale of the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I mean, incredible historic NBA deal that my former law firm Wachtell broke out from. I'll give Wachtell a shout out here. But, you know, I think one of the important things was that even though it was so daunting, he picked himself up and went for it. And that's a constant inspiration.
Yeah, absolutely. And so now, before we get to DIBS, you are so far from the legal category. What did you like the legal experience? Like, did you?
Oh my God, I loved it. I effing loved being a lawyer. I mean, you know, people come to me. I teach at a lot of law schools throughout the year. People say, "Oh, how do I not be a lawyer like you?" I say, actually, that's not the point. I was a lawyer. I was a lawyer for a very long time, 6 years at 3 major firms, and I loved it. I worked my ass off 24/7. You know, people complain about return to work now. I was in the office 6 days a week. In fact, you know, and I loved it because I don't know that I will ever find another place where people were so dedicated to what they do. Yeah. And there is a real magic to being an M&A lawyer. It's not the sexiness of the size of the deals or anything. It's like fitting puzzle pieces together.
Yeah.
So I love being a nerd and being paid well for it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. All right, well, we're now at stop 2. We're going to talk about the professional story. We're going to dive deeper on DIBS. So first off, for those who don't know, what does DIBS stand for?
Well, DIBS used to stand for, we like to say, Desert Island Beauty Status. What's the makeup that you will bring with you to a desert island, right? But then, you know, I like to say it stands for Ditch the BS. Courtney likes to now say it stands for Do It Better Somewhere.
All right, it's extensible.
It's a lot of different things.
Yeah, it doesn't need to put in a box.
No, it's got dibs. I got dibs on the best makeup out there.
I love that. All right, so tell us how that all came together. Linking up with Courtney Shields. What's Courtney Shields like? At what point in the journey were you brought in to help operate the company?
Right. So, you know, at the very beginning, you know, she knew that she wanted to start something in makeup. I knew I wanted to go into something that I could have a lot more independence in. And, you know, we met over Zoom. And I hate to say this, but like sometimes your first instinct is correct. And we knew right away. And she said she always had a gut feeling. And I had similarly the feeling about her as like the creative mind, because she had problem solution in her mind, not I want to do nebulous idea.
Right.
It was people don't know how to, and this is our hero product. We've just sold 1 million at least. The
$1 million.
Desert Island Duo. One side is blush, the other side is bronzer, right? And it's a simple combination of 2 things that people find intimidating to match. And that was something that was so almost common sense that the market had overlooked.
Right, yeah. And so at what point in the journey did you link up with Courtney Shields? Is this pre-formulation? Is this pre-development?
At the very start, and there was nothing there.
There's nothing there.
I was there at the
So what was
incorporation.
Courtney doing at this time?
Courtney had just come off of an incredible collaboration with a brand called Chula, right?
Yeah,
And the founder saw it and connected us.
Shout out.
Yes, shout out to Chula, right? And then on top of it, Courtney has a full-time job, really, as a content creator, right? And she's a constant entrepreneur. She had a podcast running. She has a lot of different projects at any time, but her passion truly was in not just makeup, but making makeup accessible.
Yeah, got it. Okay, so you join out, you link up with Courtney. How did you get introduced again?
Oh, literally through the founders of Chula.
Yes. Okay, nice.
That's right.
And so you're in like first day, you don't know anything about formulation or product innovation, do you?
I do, because I had done this, for quite some time through Alex and, then at the time, Jennifer Lopez. So,
Okay.
I had worked quite a bit in the space. They had numerous companies, even Alex had a makeup line through Hims and Hers.
Yeah, that's
right.
right.
And so I had gone through that. I had gone through that in the lab. So I spent a couple years on top of producing them for baseball games, learning how to formulate makeup.
That's wild. And so
Baseball and beauty.
I love it.
Throughline.
I love it. You're so multifaceted. So demystify that experience. So you're working with Courtney, and is she the one coming up with products? Like, how are we getting from idea to getting to market?
Well,
with this stuff?
one of the great things I like to say, right, is like there's a traditional kind of CPG partnership, which is creative mind, and then the business side, and that's all very vanilla. And I actually think our partnership is a lot stronger because she actually has a very deep understanding of the business side. At the same time, I have a deep understanding of the product side.
Right.
So even though I'm not myself per se using this, although I might spray some on you later, one of the things that was really key is she has an idea of what the customer wants.
Right.
But then, it's a fusion of what does the business need? And what does the market look like? And that's an ongoing conversation.
Right.
And so frequently what happens in cheapest day, even though our team is larger, has some incredible folks on marketing and product development, combined those teams are 5 full-time employees. The ideas are still coming from the two of us, particularly her. They're being translated through and filtered through the business lens. And she still approves every single product name and texture.
Right.
I still am in the lab for virtually every product, and there's not a single product ingredient list I don't sign off on.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the go-to-market. Tell me about the launch. What did you go to market with? Tell us about that launch, the wait list. I know there's a big story there.
Right. Look, influencer brand is such a loaded term these days, but we believe in it because it's a creator-first community, and especially if there's true passion and engagement with it, you're communicating and democratizing something that should be democratized. And Courtney had built this up, not only with herself, but with her entire cohort of influencers. So we were able to excite people. They saw the second we announced that we were dropping something in the weeks leading up to the actual launch, we saw the wait list start to swell into the tens of thousands. So you had that built-in customer base. That said, it's a repurchase that matters. So even though she has a gigantic social media, megaphone, Elle Catterton in particular, and I think any good investor should, cared a lot about the repurchase. And that was where we excelled.
Yeah.
And that was the piece where, over time, by the way, Courtney has always said, I want this brand to be bigger than myself. It's just supersede.
Right.
It's not called Courtney Shields Beauty for a reason.
Right.
And that's really what we've always striven to build.
Yeah. And so something that I think comes up a lot in conversation that I'd love your perspective on is celebrity versus creator. And I'll show my hand a little bit here. I think I tend, as someone who services a lot of those businesses, I tend to find the creator-led ones, they have built a community. And in my opinion, those make the most sustainable brands because what community does is it gives you, the marketing winds are volatile, like things will be changing by the minute, by the week, by the day. And so the community sort of gives you this, it gives you enough time to figure out which way the winds are blowing. I would love to hear your perspective on celebrity versus creator. You said she wanted to grow outside of herself. How do you think about generally, like, do you think celebrity brands have an issue?
Well, let me put it this way, right? And I'll go with general and then I'll go with specificity. First of all, from a general matter, I think that the creator brands have generally done quite well. I mean, yes, they're
like objectively.
Yes, I do think that if you had to really take the scorecard, that said, there are amazing celebrity brands like Rare Beauty that have done incredibly well. I think House Labs like Gaga has done incredibly well.
I agree.
Right? I'll go into specificity. There are some things that you can look at that are different. Creators tend to not have as many things going on. Many of these multi-hyphenate celebrities, I should know, I was inside that world, have 4 or 5 major projects, as well as 20 different things in here. Also, they frequently have large agencies and management teams that create an extra layer that add complexity. The creators also are in constant dialogue with their communities, and therefore they are able to, I think, sell their product in a different way. For many celebrities, at the end of the day, it's deeply uncomfortable to remove the pedestal that separates them and their following, and to remove the veil that, whereas many of the great influencers of our time, including Courtney, really live in a literal glass tank.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about the maturation arc of the brand. So you go to market. What product do you go to market with?
Right, so we went with two. We went with the Desert Island Duo, and we also went with what's called the Status Stick of Face and Body Highlighter.
Okay.
Right, and it's interesting because I actually think we thought that the other one was going to be the big hero.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it always kind of flips, right?
Yeah.
But we also went to market with a full pipeline.
So we had D2C first?
DTC first, and I wanted to be DTC first for the first couple of years, at least through the raise, because I felt very strongly you had to build that community.
Yeah.
And I don't know, by the way, that model would be the same today.
Yeah.
I think that there's so many different pressures to building a DTC business now, and the environment we were playing in, which was 2021.
Clearly.
Come on.
I mean, it's totally different than it was. Totally. Even my business has changed over that lifespan. Okay, so you launched with those products. Where has the brand gone since launch? So talk us through that maturation arc as the operator and the one, foot to the pedal, making this stuff work behind the scenes.
Well, first of all, the brand has changed even as a company. I was the only full-time employee in the first year before we launched the brand, and then now we are about to approach 27, right? And it's so even just from a culture standpoint, I'm going through the early startup feel.
Yeah.
Right. Bringing in an outside investor obviously also adds a layer of kind of expansion to everything, but the products have also diversified. And one of the key things that we always want to lean in is, as a makeup brand, you want to have a hero, and we have three that we would argue. It's the Duo and the brush, and now actually unexpectedly our baked bronzers. But and we have another hero we're trying to create through our partnership with Agile here.
And we'll talk about it.
Yes. But the way the customers have entered the brand have also massively changed. So whereas before it was very digital first, we now have an incredible partnership with Ulta Beauty.
Shout out to Ulta Beauty. Shop DIBS Beauty at Ulta.
I mean, Keisha, Sasha, Muffy, Lauren, Kelly. There's so many of you, Adriana. I mean, there's so many folks, Josie and Joe. I mean, I could name all of you forever. But Ulta Beauty was our dream partner, and I think coming into that last year, we haven't even been in Ulta for a year.
Yeah,
it's completely transformed the business.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're up 700% year over year.
Oh my God.
How the hell did you pull that off?
Well, I think it's more important. I don't think we.
Why do you think it's gone so well? What do you look back and reflect on? Is it the product? Is it the face? Is it the marketing strategy?
A lot of entrepreneurs love to say that, here are the top 5 things I did and they're their success. When honestly, let's just be real. There's a lot of luck involved.
Too multivariate.
Right. There's luck. I wish the fact is we were smart enough to know that makeup was going to come back, because we met during the pandemic, and I really believed, being skincare, I wanted to go into makeup next because I knew it was going to come back. Sure, but we were also lucky that it actually rebounded in line with predictions, right? Similarly for us, we really believed in the strength of our assortment and the blush and the bronzer, but we were lucky to have that, right? Yes, you make your own luck, you have to knock on every door, but a lot of it is time and positioning. And I think that, we've been very fortunate to have a partner like Ulta that's been a huge part of the growth. Ulta is currently the single largest driver of the growth. I'm very, very public about it. And, we are about to multiply our presence in the stores as an effect.
Yeah. And so talk to me a little bit about the Ulta journey. So who initiated dialogue? How'd you guys meet? And speak to them a little bit as a partner. Have they invested alongside you guys? Have you felt supported by them? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, well, first, we had been in our hand was essentially kind of forced a little, because several other major retailers came to us. One came with a full nationwide offer right away, but we knew we wanted Ulta in the conversation. We reached out, they literally picked the phone up immediately and called right? And I had known that team from previous brands, so it was a very easy conversation. Exactly. So we're driving through fragrance. We had been in the Bolingbrook meetings together. So, I would say, first of all, they're exactly the partner we wanted, because from day one, we've committed to being a 50-state brand. Our customers from the first hour of the brand's life cycle came from all 50 states. And also the overseas territories and our forces. So we knew that we wanted to not be a coastal brand in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Which is tough in makeup because makeup is very fashion, it's very trend. You're very kind of playing the Hamptons, New York game or the LA game, and we knew we wanted to play across the country. The second piece that was so important was the Ulta team is ultimately very partnership oriented.
Right.
And I do think that that matters. And, first of all, you want to be in business with people you like.
Totally.
We love them. I mean, we love all of them. Like literally, there's not a single person there that we don't look forward to see. But they're also in it to build over a much longer time frame than some of the competitors out there in the market.
Yeah. And so, Devil works hard, Jeff Lee works harder. I want to talk a little bit about this Ulta tour you're on. But first off, let's start with Equinox because I think it's kind of like a funny parallel to Ulta. So tell us about your Equinox story.
Well, apparently Alex once called Allison, who introduced us, and said, I'm not interested in Jeff because of all of his fancy degrees. I'm interested because he's worked out at every Equinox in the world, and that shows that he completes things, right?
How many is that, by the way?
Yeah, well, at the time it was about 110 or so, and now it's expanded. But that also includes the secret Equinox. There was a secret Equinox. There still is.
Easter egg.
I'll get in trouble for saying it, but look, like basically they can't let you in unless you're a resident of the building. And they threw in a party to say congratulations to work out every Equinox, and then someone goes, "Did you ever go to the weird one in Midtown?"
Yeah.
And I left the party furious that there had been one. Like they're like, "No, it doesn't count." So I called the related leasing office. I said, "Oh, I need an emergency move-in." I showed up in gym clothes. This poor woman, Gia, I'm so sorry. She thought I was going to close on a huge corner apartment, 3-hour tour. And then at the end, I'm just like, "Oh,
whatever it takes."
Yeah, I was like, she's like, "Oh, you're in gym clothes. Would you like to work out?" I was like, "Oh, I'd love to." And so that's how I got my secret Equinox. So with Ulta, it's not just about the completionist of, I want to hit all 50 states.
Tell them what you're doing first.
So my goal is, until I have not heard that there's anyone else that's done this, so people have generally agreed, I think I'll be the first founder CEO to do this, is to activate in an Ulta in all 50 states. I'm on state 44 already. I'm actually headed to Delaware and Philly tomorrow, sometime of Philly. And you'll see me in West Virginia, August 9th. Those of you who want actually enlisting.
You're going to have
West
such
Virginia.
good status on these flights.
Oh, yeah, but I only also ever fly coach, personally and professionally, and that's the company value that I cling to. I scrap, and but I do get upgraded from especially when it's headed to hopefully West Virginia. But the point of it is not just to check off a list. First of all, we are very proud to be a truly American brand, and in that way, this is a brand that people across the country should feel ownership in. And there is something magical about going to Little Rock, Arkansas, and having someone say, "No one from a brand has ever come here," right? Like that's amazing.
The strength of that interaction, and you got a fan for life.
It's amazing, right? And also, candidly, it's more exciting to me. I've been all over the world. I travel all over the world with Miss Universe. It's actually, in a way, more exciting to do Mississippi, to do Alabama, to do West Virginia, to do the Dakotas. I do think that there's a lot of value in that. Even parts of New York and California that no other founders will go.
Yeah.
Right. Now, the second piece of it is it's very important to show our partners in the store and our incredible team at DIBS, which is led by our incredible head of retail, Savannah Morris. I'm going to give her a shout out, Savannah, you and your whole team.
Shout out.
AEs, Elizabeth, Jay, Amy, Devin, Cindy, Amy, and Tammy. You guys are just incredible. Our team has been with us for under a year, and these are the people 7 days a week. It is a lonely journey. You have to be in dozens of stores a week, standing on your feet for 8 to 10 hours. You have to be always on, always welcoming. Cindy sells in South Texas in 6-inch heels in the blistering heat, and showing people how amazing this brand is without missing a beat. That is one of the hardest jobs that you can have. And I want to show my team and our team that, the brand is committed to standing by them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what a lot of people overlook, in consumer broadly, is there's physically no financial way to actually be able to support every single door at all times. And so what people I think overlook is the team members that operate those locations. There's a huge potential to convert those people who work at the store into brand loyalists, and then they become your frontline team. They are now an extension of the brand insofar as, listen, I showed up in the store, I don't really know what I want. Can you help me? What are they gonna do? Who are they gonna remember that actually literally came all the way to Bentonville or North Dakota.
Yeah,
and shook my hand.
or even uptown, Manhattan. I mean, candidly, right? Even the Upper East Side here in Manhattan doesn't get enough love.
Absolutely.
But that's the thing, and I'll give a shout out to Alta Alpharetta, Alta Franklin. I mean, like the cashiers at those places are out there.
DIBS tea and
their tunes, yeah, they are, and they really are in our family. And a lot of brands launch in retail and they make a couple mistakes. First, they're not capitalized enough, right? Because it's incredibly expensive.
It's expensive.
Yeah, it is so expensive, right? And the second piece of it is they always complain, oh, I'm not being supported enough. First of all, you can't launch in retail if you absolutely need retail.
Right.
Your brand needs to sell itself.
Totally.
There are 800 brands competing for the same shelf space. Like, no one is going to come in and now just randomly discover you. It's not how it works. So they have to have some recognition of you first.
Right.
And if you have to make it, you have to make it. The second piece of it is the retailer can only do so much. You have to do the rest, right? And it is up to you to go in there and show everybody that you're the brand that people want.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I have two questions here. One, digitally native roots, now moving to an omni-channel as a strategy. How has that changed the business? And the other thing I want your perspective on is growing beyond the creator. Like, what are the limiting factors, and how do you think about making DIBS a household brand and moving beyond those who helped get it to where it was today?
Right. Well, number one, I like to joke that like I'm almost like a bit of an eye of Sauron because yes, I am always in the weeds. Not a single piece of packaging comes out from the company. I know every single ingredient in every product we make. Yes, I'm at that level of, micromanagement, and very proudly so. But at the same time, I'm well aware of what the whole industry is moving to, and the company has to have the confidence that I know where the next steps are. But that changed a lot of my focus too, right? And one of the things that we do, it's whatever we are committed to doing, we go 8,000% in. So there's something going on in digital, for example, the retail team will support, right? Like there's been a period where the retail team was TikTok living constantly around the clock. That's not their job, but they pitched in. Similarly, we have a huge store expansion coming in a few weeks. Every single member of our full-time team, even the accountant, Kristen, I'm giving you a shout out in West Point.
Shout out Kristen.
Kristen, Kelsey up in Amania, New York, and Catherine, our head of finance, who's incredible. All of these folks are going to go to their local Altas and help us. And so that is where, you get true team culture, right? So that's important. The second piece is we're not moving beyond, but rather moving in a greater way. How do you change someone from just kind of selling the product into helping become part of your voice? First of all, the way influencers relate to their communities has become massively challenged and pressured in the last few years. Right. There's way more, and attention spans are shorter than they ever were before. But we believe with founder-led storytelling, that's one thing that's so important that Courtney does better than anyone else on our team, with our partners, right? And the second piece of it is going to the in-person connection again, right? Like,
no replacement for it.
No, when we go to even West Virginia, for example, we will activate our local community there. We have one there. And in fact, by the way, every customer that we have a database in West Virginia will get a SMS telling them when we'll be at the respective stores. Yeah. We're going to 5 stores.
Yeah, no, it's hilarious. All right, we have an upcoming launch. Let's talk about it.
At a certain point in every company's life cycle, you hit that big moment, and we call it bet the company in M&A. We're not betting the company, but this is huge. Yeah. So this is the product, the DIBS Double Standard Mascara, the first of its kind, brown primer, black mascara. You can refuse to choose, finally. You get everything, volumizing, lengthening, tubing, all of it, right? In a warm washable base. But the biggest factor behind this is mascara is such a key product. Yeah. You have to be first of your kind to succeed in the market. And we wanted to use this moment to also say, this is our first omni launch with Ulta Beauty. This will launch in all 1,400 Ulta Beauty stores in the Conscious Beauty end caps, as well as in the Impulse Travel section. This is the biggest launch the brand has done. Yeah. And for arguably our best product yet, one that took 3 years of development, we like to say this is a deeply personal product. Yeah. Our head of marketing, Abby, met her husband.
Shout out Abby.
Abby in Vermont. She met her husband, Ethan was a mascara formulator, in the lab. So this is truly a product that represents where DIBS is going. And I think having the chance to communicate that amazing message of refuse to choose.
Yeah, and then talk about it, because I think it's so important and powerful.
Yeah. Well, refuse to choose. We have Courtney along with 3 incredible other talents, and they're not just creators, right? They're really truly talents. They're the best in their field. You have Kelly Rose Sarno, who's this incredible creator, called the Lash Queen, right? And she talks about motherhood, being a wife, but also the struggle to find the perfect mascara, which is a real thing for women on the go. And you've got Megan Rube, the founder of the Sculpt Society, who is just a celebrity here in New York, and Jaleesa Jaikaran, who is Ulta Beauty's the superstar makeup artist at Trinidadian talent, and she has just pioneered some newest looks. And together with Courtney, they're sending the message that, for a very long time, women were asked to put themselves second, third, or fourth. Right. You can have it all, at least in the one product you choose to start your day. And having that campaign run on Agile is incredible for us, and it's going to be running in the major markets, and it's the first time we've ever done it.
Yeah, no, and we're excited. And what I just loved about it is refuse to choose, just realizing that there's so many multi-hyphenates, and that you don't need to be put in a box. You can do multiple things. You could do them well. And I mean, Jeff, you do a lot of things well. So we're at stop 3. It is the hot box. Are you ready for hot box?
Yes, go for it. Let's hit it.
All right, here we go.
All
right, first one. Give up email or give up Slack?
Give up email.
Cold plunge or hot tub?
Cold plunge.
Sweet snacks or salty snacks?
Sweet.
I know your answer to this one. Sampling in-store or influencer unboxings?
Oh, come on. Come on. See you soon, Charleston, West Virginia.
See you soon. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Canva or Figma?
Oh, that's tough one. Canva.
All right.
Canva.
Winter or summer?
Winter.
Protein or fiber?
Protein.
Didn't even get the fiber. Telepathy or teleportation?
Telepathy.
You're going all these places. It'd be nice to teleport.
But you know what? American Airlines, shout out. You've done me wrong sometimes, but you usually get me later.
All right, neat or messy?
Oh, messy.
Okay, DTC or D2C?
Oh, wow. DTC. $50. DTC is a sin against nature. I do use it sometimes.
$50 on red or $50 on black?
Black.
In-house ops or outsourced agency?
In-house ops. Shout out to Catherine, Alex, Kelsey. You guys are superstars.
Board games or video games?
Video games.
Spotify podcast or Substack deep dive?
Substack.
Oh, there we go. Beach house or ski house?
Beach house.
Work remote or return to office?
Return to office.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
Sunset?
Sunset.
Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, or TikTok?
Oh, none of them.
Pineapple pizza or candy corn?
These are, candy corn. Yeah, pineapple pizza is criminal. And I've been to Hawaii 8 times.
Live music or DJ?
I'm deaf in one ear, so it doesn't end up mattering.
All right.
Yeah.
Advertisement or advertisement?
Who says advertisement? Oh my God, I would
stick around my industry.
I would push them out of this. Tell me, I live down the block. I'll just come and fight.
Call, text, or audio notes?
I hate audio notes. So I'm sorry, Courtney. I don't Courtney loves audio notes. I hate audio notes. Right?
Call or text then.
Text. I also hate calls.
Okay. Give up bread for life or cheese for life?
French fries or cheese?
Give up bread or cheese?
Oh my God, cheese. Ugh.
Cheese?
Yeah, and I'm lactose tolerant too. I just don't need it. It's why not Greek yogurt? That's high protein and low fat.
All right, air guitar or air drums?
Air drums. Everyone can do it.
It's true. Start early or leave late?
Both.
Yeah. Your upbringing, yeah, that sounds right. All right, trucks or billboards?
Oh, come on. Refuse to choose. Have your billboard on a track.
Fine. All right, receive good news first or bad news?
Bad news first. That's a rule in my company.
All right, well, the bad news is we've come to the end of our show. Jeff, you've been a really great guest.
Before we go, I'm going to force this because this is Chew Juice. This is our hit, Love Being Studying.
Hit me, Jeff. Oh, God. I feel like I'm on the beach in Ibiza. Oh, wow, it smells really good too.
It does. That's what people are buying it
Doesn't have
for.
to start. I just did this whole podcast kind of looking terrible. Probably.
Well, he had to earn it, right? You know, I'll think you up good for the next one.
All right, Jeff, final stop, where can people find you? Where can they find DIBS Beauty? Sell yourself.
All right, well, you can find me soon to be in Christiana, Delaware, followed by West Hollywood, and then West Virginia, and then the Dakotas. Actually, Oklahoma on August 20th. We just confirmed that one. So you'll find me on the road, and you can find DIBS Beauty at DIBS Beauty or at www.dibsbeauty.com. But honestly, you're going to be seeing it on a truck in the city near you. So,
And at Ulta.
everywhere.
That's a wrap. Jeff, great job. You're a great guest.
Yeah.
You got energy, man. I